Reciprocal tariffs on dozens of countries took effect.
中美经贸关系本质是。
Trump's reciprocal tariffs on dozens of countries took effect earlier Wednesday and saw massive 104% duties. Reciprocal tariffs on dozens of countries took effect earlier Wednesday and saw massive 104%. Wednesday and saw massive 104%.
On Thursday, U.S. President Donald Trump said that he would love to get a deal with China to end an escalating trade war.
What happens with China? We would love to be able to work a deal. They've really taken advantage of our country for a long period of time. They've ripped us off beyond nobody. How people stood for it, sitting in my position, is not even believable. And we're talking about many presidents, not just a couple. But they did, and all we're doing is putting it back in shape. We're resetting the table. And I'm sure that we'll be able to get along very well. I have great respect for President Xi. He's been, in a true sense, he's been a friend of mine for a long period of time. And I think that we'll end up working out something that's very good for both countries. I look forward to it.
President Trump made the statement during the cabinet meeting open to press. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said during the meeting that as they settle deals with countries, it will bring more certainty on trade policy. On the same day, China's Commerce Ministry said that China is open to dialogue with the U.S., but this must be on the basis of mutual respect and equality.
China's position is clear and consistent. The door to talks is open, but dialogue must be conducted on an equal basis with mutual respect. China will stand by its position until the end. Pressuring, threatening, and blackmailing are not the correct.
Amid the trade tension escalation with the U.S., Chinese President Xi Jinping will embark on a three-nation Southeast Asia tour next week to consolidate ties with some of China's closest neighbors. President Jinping will visit Vietnam from April 14 to 15 and Malaysia and Cambodia from April 15 to 18. Since President Donald Trump took his office this year, China was slapped with 145% U.S. tariffs. So, China tries to reinforce relations with other countries who are similarly lying in the shadow of Washington's damaging trade levies. All of the three countries where President Jinping will visit are hit by Trump's reciprocal tariff. Cambodia was hit by 49% tariff, Vietnam by 46%, and Malaysia by 24%. These all have already begun reaching out to the United States for a reprieve, leaving China an outlier among the bilateral negotiations as tensions between Beijing and Washington continue to flare. The rare bilateral visits to Southeast Asian nations mark a high-profile personal diplomatic outreach for Xi. Earlier this week, the Chinese President, Jinping, pledged to deepen all-round cooperation with China's neighboring countries. As President Trump paused tariffs from most of the countries except China, Beijing had already started to persuade regional blocs around the world to hold a common line against the punitive U.S. levies.